That's right. It's the JR Sport Brief show here with you on CBS Sports Radio. This is what I like to call halftime of the show. 2 hours down, two more on the way. Okay? I'm coming to you live from the Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loan Studios. If you want to see your loan options, if you want to adjust payments and closing costs online in real time, it's real simple. Rocket can. Okay, thank you to everybody who has listened for the past 2 hours. It doesn't matter if you're listening on one of our many CBS Sports Radio affiliates, the free radio.com app, cbssportsradio.com, SiriusXM channel 206, Apple Music. I'm glad that you're here right now. We got a lot to talk about. You can find me online, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at JRSportBrief. And the phone number, 855-212-4CBS. That's 855-212-4CBS. We started off the show breaking down week 3, going through week 3 matchups in the NFL. Well, now it's time to kind of switch gears a little bit. It's time to talk about some NBA basketball because the Boston Celtics, they have lived to see another day. The Boston Celtics defeated the Miami Heat on the brink of elimination. They could have gone home. The Boston Celtics won tonight, 121-108. Jayson Tatum got busy in the second half. He decided to go out there and put up 21 points. He finished the night overall with 31 points. And I've been saying for a long time, Jayson Tatum is a killer. Jayson Tatum has the killer instinct. He put up 31 points. Jaylen Brown put up 28. And the Boston Celtics, they force a Game 6 that's going to take place on Sunday. And the Miami Heat, for a while there, they couldn't buy a shot. They actually gave up 41 points in a quarter. They allowed the Boston Celtics to get back in the game. For a period in time, it looked like the Heat were on their way to the NBA Finals. The Miami Heat at one point, led by 12, looked like they were in control. Duncan Robinson certainly started off hot. Duncan Robinson, I think he had about 17 points to start off, and then he fell flat. The whole team fell flat because the Miami Heat from downtown tonight, they shot 7 of 36. That's 19% from downtown. That's not going to get the job done. And there were contributors all across the board here. Bam Adebayo gave you 13. Jimmy Butler, 17. Jay Crowder, 14. Goran Dragic, 23. Duncan Robinson, 20. He slowed down after his hot start. But defense was a problem. The Miami Heat also out-rebounded poorly. I mean, I was watching the game while I'm here on air with you, and I'm looking at Udonis Haslem. After the Heat gave up the lead, I thought Udonis Haslem was going to go out there and slap one of his players. Udonis Haslem does look like the type of guy that would, hurt one of his teammates if absolutely necessary. It's crazy. A matter of fact, you want to talk about the difference? You want to talk about what got the Boston Celtics to this point? Brad Stevens, he said it was the defense. Listen. Brad Stevens said tonight, he says, and he wasn't trying to be funny, but Brad Stevens said tonight was actually a night that it felt like he saw Boston Celtics basketball. It's like the team just came through in waves. The contributions, the players that showed up for the Boston Celtics tonight. I told you about Jayson Tatum getting you 31 points. I told you about Jaylen Brown giving you 28 points. I mean, Jaylen Brown at one point is knocking down shots and he's blowing kisses out there. Daniel Tice, 15 points, 13 rebounds. Kemba Walker, still not getting the shots that you would want him to take or get. Gave you 15 points of 4 of 11 shooting. Marcus Smart seems to be in a 2-game shooting slump. He gave you 12 points of 3 of 9. And Gordon Hayward, you can't ignore the fact that this man is back. He played 30 minutes tonight. Gave you 10 points. The Celtics are still in business. The Celtics are still alive. Before we got to this series, I told you, I said, listen, I like the Celtics. Why? Because I think if you absolutely need a bucket, if you need somebody to score, the Celtics got a few guys. They got the main guy in Jayson Tatum. I'd look for Jayson Tatum to go out there and get you a bucket when you absolutely need it. Then you have Brown. Then you also have Kemba Walker, even though Kemba has obviously been in a little bit of a slump. I mean, at the early part of the season or series, Kemba Walker was just talking about how he has stunk, how he's been terrible. And he hasn't played up to his best. I don't know. Maybe his size is actually a detriment. Maybe that Miami Heat defense and it's a little bit too much for Kemba Walker here in the playoffs. But I still think the Celtics have more talent. A matter of fact, I'm not the only person to think that. Jimmy Butler actually came out of his own mouth several days ago and said, yes, we have to play harder because the Celtics have more talent. So if you don't take my word for it, take the word of Jimmy Butler, who actually has to go out there and play against them. That doesn't mean the Miami Heat aren't a solid team. I mean, the Celtics have given away some leads here. The Miami Heat, they've come back. They had an opportunity tonight to advance to the NBA Finals, and now they have to wait. It's real simple here. And I'm not ready to give up on the Heat. Not at all. I picked the Celtics. At this point, I think the Heat will take it out, still go to the finals. But I would not be surprised if the Celtics came back. I would not. And the reason why I picked the Celtics in the first place, outside of all of their talent, outside of all of their guys who can go out there and score and get you a bucket, I've always said, I don't trust young jump shooters. Duncan Robinson started off hot, and then he slowed down. Tyler Hero, he's 20. I mean, you don't expect him to give you 37 points one night, and then come back the next go around, you think he's going to just drop 37, 35 points again? No, it's not going to happen. Tonight, Tyler Hero, he finished with 14. How much are you really going to rely on Tyler Hero? How much are you really going to rely on Duncan Robinson? I would even go as far to say, Ashton Marcano hits me up and Ashton says he believes the Celtics are coming back. I would go as far to tell you right now that the Heat have benefited from playing in this bubble. That Tyler Hero doesn't have a fan. He doesn't have somebody belligerent yelling at him on the sideline. He doesn't have somebody getting ready to curse him out. He doesn't have to deal with the jitters. He can literally go into the bubble, which might as well be a fancy NBA YMCA or LA Fitness, and he just gets the ball out. He doesn't have a care in the world. He doesn't have anything to worry about. But now I'd say the Celtics are the squad with the momentum. The Celtics are the squad that have had leads, that have blown leads. Jimmy Butler has said, it ain't all that fun trying to just keep coming back. And so whereas I can look in the Western Conference and I can tell you with no issue, with no problem, that I believe that there is no 3-1 comeback for the Denver Nuggets. I'm sorry. I got the Lakers going to the finals. I don't see another comeback. It's over in Disney World for the Nuggets. I can't say that for the Celtics right now. I wouldn't be surprised. I said this series, I felt that it would go 7 games. Let's see if the Celtics can push it. They're certainly capable. Why wouldn't they be? This has been an amazing series. This has been a close series. This hasn't been a give me. This hasn't been something that you just sit down and ignore. The Miami Heat might have all of the experience. The Miami Heat might have the continuity. The Miami Heat might have the rings. The Miami Heat might have Pat Riley. But the Boston Celtics have the talent. And Brad Stevens, he ain't no pushover of a coach either. Let's be real. And the fact that, yes, Gordon Hayward is back is certainly a boom. It certainly lifts and elevates the Boston Celtics. That cannot be ignored. You can't ignore it. Now, having said all of that, knowing that you go into a game 6, knowing that the Miami Heat have another opportunity, one more time this Sunday, to knock out the Boston Celtics, knowing that it might go to a game 7. Understand this. Eric Spoelstra, he says he's not worried. Eric Spoelstra says this is not a time to panic. Listen. Y'all are listening to my CBS Sports radio show, Behind the Scenes. You can listen the freeradio.com app. Hit me up on IG at JRSportBrief. Yeah, they paid the price. And now they have to show up and they got to try to win and avoid a game 7. Because at that point, if Boston wins 2 in a row, you don't think going into a game 7 that the momentum is on their side? You don't think if Boston not only won tonight, but if Boston comes back and wins Sunday to stay alive, you don't think the Celtics have the momentum on their side? I'm just happy that we got a good matchup. I'm happy that we got a great game. I'm happy that we have a solid series right here in front of us. Is Boston done? Hell no. The Boston Celtics, they're not cooked yet. And I still think we're going to get a game 7. Let's see. Let's see what happens this upcoming Sunday. I'm still banking on my game 7. And let's see if the Celtics know how to keep and hold the lead. Because there was a period during this game where it looked like Miami was in control and was on their way to the NBA Finals. Now they got to wait. Now they got to stop. I want to open up the phone lines to you. 855-212-4CBS. That's 855-212-4CBS. Unlike the Denver Nuggets, I think Boston can come back. Unlike the Denver Nuggets, I think the Boston Celtics will go out and force a game 7. Let's see what they can do on Sunday. I don't think Boston is done. I know we had some folks before the series, they wanted to tell me how the Heat were going to sweep this, how the Miami Heat were just far superior. No, it's been close. That's why I said 7 games. This wasn't going to be easy for either one of these squads. Right now, I know there's a lot of data, there's a lot of numbers, there are a lot of stats. We now have momentum meters and probability focuses, and we don't need all that fancy garbage here. I can tell you that the Miami Heat, due to their lead, the odds are in their favor right now that they win this series. But I can also tell you that the Boston Celtics, they may not have grinded it out. They may not have been able to hold on to every single one of those leads. But the Boston Celtics still have more talent. Is that talent going to play together? Is that talent going to be able to stay together and actually win? Hold the lead. The Celtics aren't done. I still think we'll go 7 games. Let's see. Regardless of what happens, this has been a solid and entertaining series. Phone lines are open to you right now. 855-212-4CBS. That's 855-212-4CBS. Do you feel that the Boston Celtics can come back and win this series? Call me up right now. It's the JR Sport Brief Show on CBS Sports Radio. Thank you. Y'all got the behind the scenes of my radio show right now, folks. I'm live on CBS Sports Radio every single weeknight. Every single weeknight you could catch me, okay? I'm on in 300 cities in the United States of America. I'm on in Canada. You can listen to me on the freeradio.com app. Matter of fact, I just gave you the phone number, 855-212-4CBS. And for all my people, if anybody is in Los Angeles, tomorrow I'm on KTLA. If Miami gets overconfident, that this could go to the Celtics' favor. Yeah, I don't even think it's a matter of Miami being overconfident. I think it just boils down to the talent that they really have on the basketball court. And as Jimmy Butler said, the Celtics have more talent. And I think when you want to really think about overall, Jimmy Butler might be the toughest guy. Jimmy Butler might be the most well-rounded, but Jayson Tatum is the best player. Jayson Tatum is the guy with the offensive swagger. Jayson Tatum is the killer. Jayson Tatum is one of the future superstars in the NBA. And I expect Jayson Tatum to go out there and eventually one day win a championship. I think that's what's in his future. Jayson Tatum is going to win a title one day because there are very few players in the NBA like Jayson Tatum who go and just get it. You think about a John Morant, a Jayson Tatum, and these are guys, I don't know, maybe John Morant will end up being like Russell Westbrook. Maybe his efficiency will never improve, but I certainly like his attitude. I like the fact that he wants to go and get it. I like the fact that he's a killer. Jayson Tatum is a bad man. There's a reason why Kobe Bryant, before he passed away, that Kobe Bryant was so willing to work with Tatum. It's because he knew that in this guy's bloodstream, he was a killer. Yes, Jaylen Brown is a killer, but he can't go and get his shot. Michael Jordan was a killer. Akeem Olajuwon was a killer. LeBron James is a killer. Jaylen Brown is not there. I'm talking about a different beast and a different animal. Yes, Devin Booker has it in him. I'm talking about a guy that can just go and get it when he wants to, when he needs to. And Jayson Tatum, he has that in him. His rookie season, I remember him clearly. Jayson Tatum was going at LeBron James. Come on. Jayson Tatum was going at LeBron. And he wasn't backing down. And he was giving LeBron James the business as a rookie. Not too many people can come into the league and have that automatically. It's facts. Humble 803 says Lillard. Oh, we see he's clutch. We see it. Underrated point guard for years. It looks like folks are finally starting to pay attention to Damian Lillard. There's no doubt about it. Is Luka a killer? No. Luka Doncic might be the best player eventually in the NBA in a few years, but I'm not ready to put that killer on him. He might be the best overall guy, but no, he's not in that realm yet. Jayson Tatum, is he top 5? I'm not putting him in the top 5. Top 10, I'd have to count it out. Alex, who do I have winning the championship? I got the Los Angeles Lakers. I got the Lakers winning it all. Look, folks, I'm 1 minute from being back on air here on... Okay, awesome. I'm about to be back on air. I'm on air every single weeknight, Monday through Friday on CBS Sports Radio. All right? Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JRSportBrief. You won't miss anything I'm doing. Tomorrow, I'm on KTLA in Los Angeles. In the afternoon, I'm on WFAN in New York City. Thank you, Humble 803. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Big time, big timing. We about to go back on air. Y'all are behind the scenes. You just heard Celtics Radio. You're listening to the JR Sport Brief show right here on CBS Sports Radio. The Boston Celtics, they win tonight. They come back. They overcome a 12-point deficit. They own the second half. The Boston Celtics knock off the Heat 121-108. They force a game 6, which will take place this Sunday. Shout outs to John Plouffe. I appreciate you, John, for tuning in. Miami leads the series 3-2 right now. Instead of being on their way to the NBA Finals. And I think the Boston Celtics have it in them to come back. Jimmy Butler has said that the Celtics have more talent. Obviously, we've seen the Celtics take these leads early in the series. We've seen the Celtics blow these leads. Well, now, it was the Miami Heat's turn. As Jayson Tatum got busy in the second half, scoring 21 of his 31 points. The last game that we saw Jayson Tatum, he had 0 points in the first half, and he finished the game with 28. He put up 28 points in the second half last game. He gives you 21 this time around. Gordon Hayward, you can't ignore the fact that this man is back. The Celtics, I think they have a little bit of the momentum on their side. The Miami Heat might have the edge on the series, but the momentum is on the side of the Celtics right now. And I always thought that this series would go 7 games. I always thought it was going to be close. I didn't think it'd be this much fun to watch. The phone lines are open to you right now. 855-212-4CBS. That's 855-212-4CBS. Do you believe the Boston Celtics can come back and win this series? If you go ahead and look at what the Denver Nuggets are going through, 3-1 comeback, 3-1 comeback. There ain't going to be no 3-1 comeback against the Lakers. It's not happening. But this is different. The Miami Heat can give this away. Let's see what they can do. 855-212-4CBS. Our number, our line is sponsored by Geico. And did you know, right now, Geico's offering an extra 15% credit on car, motorcycle, and RV policies. That's on top of what Geico could already save you. So what are you waiting for? Go to geico.com to learn more. Can the Celtics come back and win this series? I say yes. But the odds will tell you the Heat still have the advantage. It's real simple. 3 is greater than 2. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to go ahead and figure that one out. The Boston Celtics have had their backs up against the wall. Let's go ahead and talk to Brad. Brad is calling up from Cleveland. Brad, you're on CBS Sports Radio, the JR Sport Brief show. What do you think about the Celtics?